Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Host Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Guyana ranked number 2 in the world when it comes to the global suicide rate. This story takes the lead in today's edition of Caribbean Perspective for Wednesday, 10th November 2021. Details when we return.
Conveniently located in the Grand Anne Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grandans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Welcome back. Guyana launched a mental health and well-being conference on Monday, being cognizant of the fact that the country's suicide rate is second highest in the world. More in this Gordon Mosley News Source Guyana report.
Dr. Christina Hoven, during the opening, the director of the Global Psychiatric Epidemiology Group and Columbia University professor, said there is an urgent need for solutions to be found to Guyana's mental health situation. Dr. Hoven is part of a team conducting a study in Guyana on suicide, with the hope of coming up with solutions that could aid in stemming the high rate of cases. According to Dr. Hoven, while efforts have been made to address Guyana's suicide problem, progress has not been good.
It doesn't matter how you look at it. Guyana doesn't look good when it comes to suicide or activities related to suicide.
The professor called for more understanding of the issues surrounding suicide if there could be true change.
So when we talk about what can we do a lot of things. And we can do it from a multifaceted perspective because suicide is multifaceted. Everyone that kills themselves is different, and they have a range of activities and a range of attitudes and beliefs that bring them to that point. We can intersect with those attitudes and beliefs if we think about it and try.
On the issue of understanding why people take their own lives, Dr. Hoven said there is first a need to understand the various aspects of life, including religious beliefs and standards of living. She noted that there are many issues that could trigger feelings that could possibly lead to suicide.
We can do all the wonderful little studies we want, big studies, but if they're not thought out and they don't capture what needs to be captured, they're for naught. You're wasting your time. We know all about the risk factors. I just showed you the risk factors. That's not going to help us solve the problem. We have to figure out the big picture and how these things go together to create suicidal behavior. That's the challenge.
It was explained that almost 700,000 persons lose their lives to suicide across the world every year, making suicide the 18th leading cause of death globally. Guyana is ranked at number 2 in the world when it comes to having the most suicide deaths annually per 100,000 people. That figure means that Guyana tops the Caribbean community when it comes to cases of suicide. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony said, over the years, despite additional research being done, there has been little improvement in addressing the issue.
But after about, I think, 3 5-year plans that we have had in suicide prevention, as you can see, the numbers are still climbing. And we really need to think about other ways of how we are going to affect those numbers. Certainly, whatever we are trying, while they might be helping in some ways and in some regions, it is not helping us to bring down those numbers as quickly as we would like them to. And that is something that I guess we'll have to keep working on, because nobody wants to see so many persons ending their lives in Guyana.
The health minister set a new plan which will be derived from the study, along with a new bill that will decriminalize attempted suicide, will seek to bridge the gap and hopefully lead to better results.
Liet applies to commence charters in St. Croix. Sherilyn Beezer of ABS News reports.
We are also looking at probably doing 1 or 2 charters to St. Croix as well. We have already made the application to the FAA for that, and if we could do it, then we certainly shall.
Director of Flight Operations, Captain Arthur Senhouse, says the airline is hoping for a positive response.
Even if it's 2 charters for December to get these families across, and once we can get people into Antigua, then we can connect them to the rest of our network.
Meanwhile, a tentative date has been set for the resumption of flights into St. Thomas.
The projected start date that we have in mind that we're working diligently towards is the 21st of November this year. Right, it will be on a Sunday, and we're planning to do 1 flight every week into St. Thomas, Antigua, St. Thomas, Antigua.
Captain Senhouse says weekly flights will be on Sundays.
We're closing up some loose ends with our maintenance program to ensure that we could fully support the service once we put it on stream. And that's one of the key factors that's governing the decision that we've made.
The Director of Flight Operations explains the airfare being considered.
But it's more to get people who have long to travel between Antigua and the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, to do so. So initially, it will be a fairly reduced fare.
St. Thomas will become the carrier's 10th destination since returning to the skies in November 2020. The entity was rescued from the brink of liquidation through the efforts of the Gaston Brown administration and is now under the direction of a court-appointed administrator. Sherilyn Beezer reporting for ABS News.
Sir James Mitchell, former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is warded at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital in Barbados.
The former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sir James Mitchell, continues to receive treatment at the intensive care unit of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital after being airlifted here last week. Sir James was diagnosed with dengue and a number of other health-related conditions. A statement issued by his family today said the 90-year-old Caribbean statesman continues to receive excellent care and attention from the doctors and nurses.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
Even though Jamaica has administered 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines to date, health authorities there are still ramping up their fight against vaccine hesitancy.
The health minister, along with community health aides, public health nurses and doctors, on a house-to-house vaccination drive. The aim is to take vaccines to communities that are not close to a fixed site and to persons who are not able to travel to get inoculated. But some Jamaicans continue to insist that they will not take the jab. So the minister was asked whether the ministry is winning the fight against vaccine hesitancy.
We still are far away from getting the numbers that we would like to get ideally. The truth is, as many Jamaicans as possible who qualify would like to get vaccinated. While it is true that we are inching closer towards achieving the targets, we need to increase the pace. But it's not a function anymore of people not having the vaccines or having access. It's a function of addressing the uncertainties and the hesitancy. And it's going to require all of us to play our part in pushing for that.
Health officials have been urging pregnant women to take the vaccine. It's why Medical Officer of Health for Trelawney, Dr. Diane Dale, appealed specifically to pregnant women who are delaying vaccination.
Some pregnant women are not doing very well with COVID infection. So we want to encourage them, especially the pregnant women, to know that it is safe to take the COVID-19 vaccine while pregnant.
Jamaica's opposition leader Mark Golding speaks on vaccine take-up in Jamaica.
Meanwhile, opposition leader Mark Golding is again calling for the government to do more to get more Jamaicans vaccinated against COVID-19. Speaking to councillor candidates for Region 5 following a tour in St. Elizabeth today, Mr. Golding said he believes the National COVID-19 Vaccination Operationalization Task Force is Jamaica's best hope.
And I've said to them, they need to hold the vaccination program, take it out of politics, and carry it to the people. Partner with the churches who are willing to come on board, partner with the medical profession who are willing to come on board, and try and get those numbers up.
In the meantime, Mr. Golding continues to blast the government for its handling of the education sector during the pandemic.
Nearly 2 years. We believe they have to be brought back to school as quickly as possible. We support bringing them back to school right away and finding ways of reducing any associated risks, because the education lost to our children is going to damage the future this country for years to come.
Jamaica's opposition PNP enters campaign mode. More in this TVJ News item.
The People's National Party PNP is intensifying campaign activities for the next local government election, although a date has not been announced. PNP President and Opposition Leader Mark Golding was in St. Elizabeth on Saturday, where newly minted Chairman Curran Spencer is hoping to bring the region to victory. Kelisha Williams has more.
It's the face some would not expect to be chairing a People's National Party region at this time. But Curran Spencer, the former junior energy minister who battled corruption charges for years, has been leading campaign activities in Manchester and St. Elizabeth. He was made region chairman a few weeks ago.
In Region 5, we're well positioned and we accept our responsibility that we're going to have to be the catalyst of change, the catalyst of the new energy for the new PNP that will emerge.
And he appears ready to ensure victory for the People's National Party in the next local government election.
We recognize that there is no substitute for work in politics, and we're going to lead the way in terms of doing the work that's necessary to bring back the People's National Party to power.
Mr. Spencer left Gordon House in 2011, years after he was charged for fraud related to the Cuban light bulb saga in 2008. In 2014, he was freed of all charges. But now PNP President Mark Golding, who was in St. Elizabeth on Saturday, said he trusts Region 5, which includes Manchester and St. Elizabeth, will be stronger under Mr. Spencer's leadership.
And the energy is palpable, and we're looking forward to doing very well in this region in the upcoming local government election. So today was just to bring all the candidates together, both the sitting councillors and caretakers.
Which is why Mr. Golding is confident that although the date for the next local government election has not been announced, the PNP will be ready.
I'm very optimistic. I feel we can do it. I think we have some excellent candidates, and we have strong regional leadership now, and I feel that we'll be doing very well.
He explained that the plan going forward is to ensure unity.
We're working to build a party. We're working to build our reputation, our image, our connection with the Jamaican people. I think everybody who wants to be on the train is welcome, and I think people are getting on board.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.